Today on Inquirer, Volcanic marks spike in volcanic quakes at Mayon. More rockfall events and increase in emitted sulfur dioxide flux recorded. Portions of Las Piñas and Cavite to experience 13-hour water service interruption for more than a month. DFA says Filipinos in Russia are safe following the power struggle between the military and a mutinous paramilitary group. And resolution seeking the suspension of Cebu Pacific's congressional franchise due to numerous complaints filed in the House of Representatives. Good evening. Following the recent power struggle between the military and a mutinous paramilitary group in Russia, the Department of Foreign Affairs says Filipinos there are safe and none so far have asked to be repatriated. Beatriz Pinlac has the report.
A short-lived power struggle between the military and a mutinous paramilitary group struck Russia recently, but the Department of Foreign Affairs says no Filipino has so far asked to be repatriated. DFA Undersecretary Eduardo de Vega says there are 10,000 Filipinos in Russia and at least 8,000 of them are in the capital Moscow. In Rostov-on-Don, which was momentarily taken over by the Wagner mercenary group, De Vega says there are 10 Filipinos who have all indicated they were safe. According to De Vega, the crisis has been resolved due to the intervention of Belarus, but even during the height of the crisis, he says no Filipinos sought repatriation. De Vega notes, however, that should anyone seek repatriation, assistance funds will be made available. He says the Philippine Embassy in Moscow is monitoring the situation and will issue appropriate advisories to the Filipino community in Russia. Last Saturday, the embassy had urged Filipinos to obey Russia's rules and refrain from posting political comments on social media. The advisory came after Wagner, a paramilitary group led by Yevgeny Prigozhin, took control of two cities south of Moscow and began an advance toward the capital. The situation was diffused by evening after Prigozhin entered into a deal with Russia and Belarus for his safe exile. This is Beatriz Pinlac reporting for INQUIRER.net.
The Department of Justice announces that Secretary Bohol Remulya will be on a 10-day wellness leave effective immediately. In a statement, the DOJ says Remulya's wellness leave is due to personal reasons without providing details. The DOJ asks for understanding and to respect Remulya's privacy during this time. It also says Remulya's leave would not affect the department's operations, reassuring the public that it would continue to carry out its vital functions and responsibilities. In a message to reporters, Remulya says Justice Undersecretary Raul Vasquez is the DOJ's officer in charge during his absence. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology notes a sharp increase in volcanic quakes at Mayon volcano. John Eric Mendoza has the report.
Mayon volcano recorded a sharp increase in volcanic earthquakes. That is according to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS. From 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Monday, June 26, PHIVOLCS logged 100 volcanic earthquakes. PHIVOLCS also notes a sharp jump in ground tilt on the southwest sector of Mayon that began on June 25. Earlier, PHIVOLCS recorded a total of 102 volcanic tremors from 5 a.m. of June 25 to 5 a.m. of June 26. The volcano also logged an increase of activity when it comes to rockfall events and the volume of sulfur dioxide flux it emitted. State volcanologists now log 263 rockfall events in the volcano compared to the previous tally of 257. Also, the latest emitted sulfur dioxide flux of the volcano is at 925 metric tons a day compared to 663 metric tons recorded previously. Meanwhile, PHIVOLCS also said the volcano shows a very slow effusion of lava flow with lengths of 1.3 kilometers and 1.2 kilometers along the gullies in the villages of Miisi and Bonga. PHIVOLCS also measured the lava collapse of both gullies at 3.3 kilometers from the crater. Mayon volcano has been under alert level 3 since June 8 due to potential explosive activity happening within days or weeks. According to the volcano monitor, the unrest in Mayon volcano could last for a few months based on their observations. For INQUIRER.net, this is John Eric Mendoza.
Former Defense Officer in Charge Carlito Galvez Jr. has been appointed as Chief of the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity, or OPAPRO, according to Malacanang. Galvez was previously the officer in charge of the Department of National Defense, which is now led by Secretary Gibo Teodoro. Galvez also served as OPAPRO chief under former President Rodrigo Duterte. He was also the vaccine czar and chief of the now-defunct National Task Force Against COVID-19. Joining Galvez is Isidro L. Purisima, who will be the senior undersecretary in the OPAPRO. Prior to Galvez's appointment, Isidro Purisima had been the acting presidential peace advisor. The OPAPRO is in charge of implementing the government's comprehensive peace process as mandated by Executive Order 153. A lawmaker has filed a resolution seeking the suspension of the congressional franchise given to low-cost airliner Cebu Pacific over numerous complaints about offloading and poor services. In a statement, Cagayan de Oro's 2nd District Representative Rufus Rodriguez confirms he had filed House Resolution number 1101 earlier calling for the suspension of the franchise granted to Cebu Pacific under Republic Act number 7151. The lawmaker details in the resolution several complaints against the airliner, highlighting the huge income that the company was able to generate in the past months. Rodriguez cites complaints mentioned during the Senate hearing on June 21, like when passengers flying to Japan early June were not given food and accommodation after their flight was delayed. This forced them to sleep on the floor of the Narita International Airport. Cebu Pacific, during the Senate hearing, apologized for the inconveniences experienced by passengers. INQUIRER.net has asked Cebu Pacific representatives for the company's side on this latest call for the suspension, but they have not yet responded. North Luzon Expressway Corporation hopes the Toll Regulatory Board will approve by next month its toll fees for the NLEX Connectors, saying it has been incurring hundreds of thousands of pesos in losses daily. NLEX Corporation President and General Manager J. Luigi Bautista told reporters their proposed toll fee for Class 1 vehicles is 86 pesos. This toll fee would cover the Caloocan-España segment of the 8-kilometer NLEX connector. Class 1 vehicles include cars, jeepneys, vans, pickups, and certain motorcycles. According to Bautista, the tollway company is losing approximately 473,000 pesos in daily revenues. He notes that motorists have been using the NLEX connector without charge for nearly 3 months now. The NLEX connector is a public-private partnership project between the Department of Public Works and Highways and NLEX Corporation. It seeks to reduce the travel time of cargo going to and from the north and south of Luzon. Local oil firms announce increase in the pump prices of petroleum products effective Tuesday, June 27. Gasoline prices will see an increase of 20 centavos per liter, while diesel prices will rise by 1 peso and 5 centavos per liter. Meanwhile, kerosene prices will go up by 1 peso and 20 centavos per liter. This comes a week after oil firms announced small cuts in their pump prices. Maynilad Water Services Incorporated announces that portions of Las Piñas and Cavite will experience 13-hour daily water service interruptions starting June 28. In an advisory, Maynilad says select customers in the cities of Las Piñas, Bacoor, and Imus will have daily water interruptions from June 28 to August 8, 2023 from 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. According to Maynilad, this is due to the replacement of the initial 3 of 14 ultrafiltration membranes at the Putatan Water Treatment Plant 2. The water concessionaire says all 14 ultrafiltration membranes are set to be replaced to maintain optimum filtration capacity. Maynilad says the replacement will be done in batches to minimize the impact of lower water production. Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama si Irvin Santiago ng Bandera. Irvin?
Hi Neil at sa lahat ng mga kabandera natin all over the universe. Ito na nga ang latest Bandera Chika. Matinding stress at pressure ang nararamdaman ngayon ng kapuso actor at TV host na si Paulo Contis. Ito'y dahil araw-araw nga siyang nagre-report sa bagong Itbulaga na napapanood tuwing tanghali sa GMA7. Inamin ni Paolo na totoong nilagnat at tinrangkaso siya nitong nagdaang linggo dahil sa sobrang pagod na naranasan mula nang maging host ng Kapuso Noontime Show na Itbulaga produced by Tape Incorporated. Bigla rin daw nagbago ang takbo ng buhay niya mula nang pumayag siyang makasama sa dating programa na pinaghaharian ng TVJ at ng ilan pang legit na barkads. Unti-unti na rin naman daw siyang nakakapag-adjust sa bago at super controversial niyang project. Actually, patulog na raw dapat siya nang makatsikahan ng ilang members ng entertainment media sa celebrity screening ng bago niyang pelikulang Ang Pangarap Kong Oscars, kung saan kasama niya si Joros Gamboa. Nagkwento rin si Pao tungkol sa samahan nila ng kanyang mga co-host sa Itbulaga, kabilang na dyan sina Betong Sumaya, Buboy Villar, Mavi at Cassie Legaspi.
What time do you wake up?
I wake up 5:30 to 6 o'clock para makadire-diretso ako ng trabaho. Kasi ayoko na traffic, so I wanna be on set early. Pero I have to get used to sleep early.
So, kumusta kayo? Kumusta yung camaraderie ng mga...
Masaya. The group is very happy. The group is having fun. Actually, yung iba nagre-rehearse na pero iba papunta dito.
At yan ang Bandera Chika natin today. Thanks, Neil!
Maraming salamat to Irvin, and these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.